Hi, my name is Brooke Lipman.
And I'm Dr. Deb Lipman.
And this is Wine Together,
a podcast where we drink some wine and have a chat.
So sit back, relax, and get that corkscrew ready.
We're drinking a wine from Italy.
Okay, what are we talking about this week?
Well, you need to teach me street smart.
Okay.
We discovered that I'm not too good at that this week when we were out and about.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's definitely going to benefit me, but it also benefit others who listen or watch because, it's important. I think that, not just the street smarts, but I think a lot of it would kind of coincide with, also online smarts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So why do you need to teach me this?
What, are you going to answer that question, or are you asking
you're going to answer.
Oh, because, you are not very good at street smarts.
Because I trust people?
Yes.
Okay. But, I absolutely was taught to trust people.
Mm-hmm.
I know you would think that with all I've been through that I would learn. But nope, when it comes to strangers and people who could mess up my reputation, I tend to trust them and think that they're not out to hurt me.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out if my microphone is loud enough. It's fine. No, you can't just trust people because trust is earned, not a given.
Wow, and that's completely opposite of how I grew up.
Interesting. Okay.
Very opposite. You treat people the way you want to be treated, which includes trusting them.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we've been through this, every other podcast. That's just absolutely not real. You don't treat people the way you want to be treated because people don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But I still, it's ingrained in me, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So what did I do wrong?
You gave a random person the time of day when you shouldn't have. There are people, and this is going to sound bad, but especially men, you cannot, you just have to ignore them.
As a woman or anybody?
I mean, probably as anybody, but mostly as a woman. Because, you don't know. The best thing is to ignore them because you don't know how they're going to react if you do say something. Because some people will react very violently, and you don't want that. So the best thing is to just ignore them and walk away if they try to, say some or, come up to you for whatever reason. Unless it's, there's ways to go up to people in, not in a non-threatening manner.
Mm-hmm.
But if someone is trying to, take a photo of you, what happened the other day, or, whatever, that's a big... No, that's weird.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest issues the other night was none of us understood each other. His German was not good.
No.
He spoke no English. And so we were trying to figure out just what is it he was trying to say to us. Mm-hmm. And so, of course, I was curious. And so I spoke back in German, but evidently my German was better than his because what he was saying, there are no words that I know of in the German language that sounded like what he was saying. And it certainly didn't sound like anything about, like what I thought he was saying, either he would hold the purse while the two of us took a picture together, or that, and then he pulls out his phone like he was going to take a picture of us. And I thought, no, I knew that part I knew not to do. And I knew not to let him hold the purse. Those two things I knew.
Yeah.
Okay? But I still thought, I still should have, and this happens to me every single time. I never think of the correct response until I've already walked away. It's like, again, my brain just shuts off.
That's why you just ignore them and walk away.
Yeah, because I really, after I left, I thought, duh, I should have told him. Well, that's what he's for. You're talking about your dad being there with us. He's there to take the picture of us together. Yeah. We don't need another person to take the picture of us together. Yeah. And so I wish I had thought about that. That's, that's what he's for, but I didn't think it. And so it just turned into this odd, weird encounter. And just uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But, and I really wasn't trying to, be nice to him. I just was trying to figure out what was going on, I think. And I didn't need to know what was going on.
Yeah.
And that's where, the nosy part of me wanted to know what was going on. What's he talking about? That also tends to, as far as that part of my personality, that gets me in a lot of trouble. So I have no street smarts.
Yeah. Well, you don't owe anybody nice.
And I read that book. We Don't Owe You Pretty.
Yeah.
I love that book, by the way. But evidently I didn't. I learned that part of it. But as far as you don't owe anyone nice, I haven't learned that.
Yeah.
So I need another book titled You Don't Owe Anyone Nice. You should write that book because it honestly would be beneficial if you think about it. We don't owe anyone nice, and I think that is so counter to my upbringing.
Yeah.
So counter to my upbringing.
Well, it's like what I said the other day. Just because you're not nice doesn't mean you're mean. Like that. Just because you're not being nice to someone does not mean that you're being rude.
That needs to be said in your book as well. That needs to be said in your book as well. Because I do think that I know that I have. From past jobs, past relationships, I have a terrible reputation for being rude. What I call being honest, someone else calls being rude.
Yeah, well, that's typical, when it comes to women in the workforce. It's things that are seen, built up and, encouraged in men are rude and wrong for women.
Aggressive. That's a term that's been used. Bully. I've been called a bully. Controlling. I've been called all of these things. And it's because, one thing I think needs to be said is one thing I was taught that I'm proud of, I guess, was I was taught always trust your training, trust your knowledge. Trust your training. If this is what you were told to do, this is, kind of part of the training manual for work or whatever, trust it and do what you were taught to do. And then if you find it turns out it was the wrong thing to do, well, then you point back to the training. But trust your training. And I think I tend to think those words often in life, trust your training. But some of the training that I had as far as my upbringing doesn't coincide with safety.
Yeah.
So I think that part of trusting my training, I have to let go of. But, as far as getting along with others, I'm me. And I'm surprised I'm still married. I'm not going to lie to you because I call it honesty. Other people call it rude and being a bully. But, it just, I don't know. I don't know where the fine line is, and I don't know why women have to behave in a manner differently than
They don't have
than
to.
men.
Men want them to.
Correct. Right. You're right. We don't have to. And
No.
so we don't, we need to just change that. We need to change that. If you know your training and you know you're good at it, trust it and just stick with that. Be that person that's good at your job. Be that person that, it's so funny because I often describe myself to others as I'm a kind person, but I'm not always a nice person. And I think that people don't understand that you can be kind but not nice.
Yeah.
Well, when, it requires me to, be honest with people, someone's on the other end of that's not going to take it as nice. But to me, telling the truth is actually a very kind thing to do. So, I think that that's kind of a fine line that women, kind of tend to try to walk. And like you're saying, we shouldn't have to play games. So, well, how does street smarts coincide with online safety?
Well, I mean, it's really it would be the same as like if someone came up to you on the street and said like, give me your name and address and stuff. Like being careful about who you trust with that kind of information, especially now. Things just getting so much worse. Just like making sure you know and trust and like you understand like what you're giving your information to.
Yeah, I think that it's a matter of, I think we do have to learn that, especially people of my generation. We have to learn that when it comes to online because we're used to, we used to think that some things were private. There's no such thing as privacy. There's no such thing as privacy. People can, so our apartment, we have windows all the way down one side of our apartment. And on a summer day, the blinds are open and, the sun's coming in.
Summer, blinds are closed.
Well, that's true. In the summer, we close the blinds. In the winter,
open.
when it's nice and sunny out, we do have the blinds open. You're right about that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so anyone could fly a drone and take photos inside of our apartment. And we wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
Unless we're outside on the balcony and hear it, we're not going to know because we have very good windows, very good doors. It keeps the noise out. And so we would never know. There's no such thing as privacy. And I think that we have to learn to live with that. And we do have to learn to live with saying no much more often than we probably used to. Because, I used to think that, if I showed somebody kindness and showed a little trust, they would reciprocate that. And they're just, I hate to say it, there are rude, mean people in the world. And they really, it's almost, it's fuel to them. The more they can get away with. The more they're willing to do to hurt others and absolutely not care as long as it lines their pockets with whatever, whether it's with power or money, whatever it is they're trying to get. If it lines their pockets with it, they don't care who they step on and hurt. We're seeing that. It's terrible. We're seeing that in governments. We're seeing it in corporations. We're seeing it, and what a shame. What a world to live in where corruption is front and center.
Yeah, I
front
don't
and
know.
center.
I just read this article today about there's an act that they're trying to put in the U.S. where if you want to register to vote, you have to bring your birth certificate and like passport, like another form of ID to register to vote. Like your driver's license isn't good enough, and it's to prevent undocumented immigrants from registering to vote, but also who it affects: transgender people, married women who take their husband's names, anyone that's like changed their name for whatever reason, maybe for safety, like they can't register to vote.
Yes, imagine the women that have finally made it to a safe place, away from an abuser, and this is what they have to do.
The biggest problem, because they keep saying like, oh no, like they'll learn how to figure out with the birth certificate thing. It's like, no, they won't, because they're being threatened with jail time if they let an undocumented immigrant slip. They're volunteers. They don't get paid to work at the polling place.
Right, and let me tell you from someone who has done that for years, I did it, and I loved,
Yes.
I
used to work on
loved
Halloween.
being that. I loved doing early elections. I loved working the polls. It was it was probably a very proud moment for me because you guys, my children, were at an age where they could see how much this mattered. And I was a poll worker, and every year in every election, I worked. And so I know I could only speak for that one county that I worked for, but there are so many ways. It is very rare that someone can get through and vote that's not legally allowed to vote.
Also,
There are so many checks and balances in place.
Most people who are undocumented don't even try because
No.
they're so worried about getting
Absolutely.
having an issue.
They would not do it. And so this is my problem with the lies. I mean, again, my honesty is seen as rude, and yet some people out there can spread lies that are lies. And these people are kind of propped up and, respected. And I don't understand that. I don't respect dishonesty whatsoever. And you know what? If you don't get caught lying to me and then I never know, then guess what? I never know. But when we know it's a lie, we need to call it. We need to call it a lie. This age of disinformation and misinformation cannot stand. I'll give you a very good example. A few months ago, I was still working, and the particular facility I worked at was a locked facility for young men, and so you can imagine lots of people worked there. There were many more staff than there were consumers, and there was this one particular person that had a supervisory role, and she one day a consumer was not feeling well, and he asked for a mask, and she said, this doesn't work.
Oh my God.
Masks don't work. And I, as the teacher, said, whoa, in this school we don't spread misinformation and disinformation. I said, so until you bring me scientific studies that show me masks do not work, I said, because trust me, I can show you many scientific studies that show they do work. Until we can counter this with facts and information, do not speak like that in my school. I said, and so from now on, if you want to say something, I need proof. I said, because I don't trust you.
Yep.
And I told that consumer, I said, masks do work. Yes, you are actually protecting other people. And that shows me a lot about who you are. You are a kind person who cares about the people they are around. That you don't want to spread this possible illness to anyone else. It absolutely will work. The mask will work. And I will say, that was one instance of one person standing up to disinformation and misinformation, but we all need to be doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, that is safety. That is street smarts right there.
Yeah.
Countering disinformation, misinformation with facts, that's street smarts.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely not rude. And people who want to believe the conspiracies and the things that aren't true, well, then show us proof. Show us facts. Show me the facts. It's so funny. When I was growing up, it was show me the money. Now it's, as an old person, my mantra is show me the facts. I want to see the facts. And that is FACTS, just because my southern drawl makes it sound like FAX. It's FACTS. I'm very adamant about that. Truth. My sister said it. No more secrets. What my family's been through and what I've been through, that's probably a big reason why I am the way I am. But when it comes to you and your siblings and the relationship between your dad and me, it's just got to be based on honesty. And, as for our street smarts and all the other people, that's a whole different story. I don't have to trust anybody else. Yep. And you're right. I don't have to. But you're going to have to stick with me on that because, I remember you being so afraid of me being here without you.
I know, because you can't even get on the right train. You can't even get on the right escalator at Manor.
I know. I know. I know.
I mean, it's like that one time when we were in New York, and I was like 15, and I had been to New York the year before, and I knew, like, and you almost got your bracelet taken away from you.
You had been there 2 years in a row before that, hadn't you?
No.
Oh, I thought you'd been 2 years in a row.
I only went 3 years in a row because the next year I went with Jana.
Mm-hmm.
But that year, remember, you almost got your bracelet taken away, and I kept, like, pulling you guys away from the people and, like, say, ignore them.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was going through my jewelry yesterday and saw that tennis bracelet, and I was like, oh, I'm so thankful I still have my tennis bracelet, because it's a beautiful bracelet. Yeah. It's got that heart hanging down from it. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful bracelet your dad gave me, and I absolutely love it, and I'm so thankful I still have it.
You cannot, if no one in New York wants to take a picture with you unless you pay them or they get something from it. And they knew you weren't going to pay them because we were all trying to walk away, so they tried to steal your bracelet.
Yep.
They had it unhooked. That much anyway.
They had it. Well, they had it unhooked. They did. Yeah. But I will say this. Also in New York, and it was so funny because someone said to me, they were trying to give me a CD of their music. Mm-hmm. And I had, because of what had happened the day before, I could just walked away. And then he said to me, what, you don't like black people? And so don't do that to me. As a teacher, don't do that to me. Because I have loved all my students. And to say that to me, I actually wanted to hit him.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do that. I knew I couldn't do that because we don't solve our differences of violence. I know that because that's the lesson I've taught my students. We don't solve our differences of violence, but I really wanted to do something.
No, you can't.
So that I could.
If someone says that about you, cannot engage with that because it's not worth, like, it does. They don't know how you feel. They don't know what you don't want to. You don't have the money to buy the CD, or you don't want to because you can't store it. You don't owe them anything. Right? Yeah. And anyway, there was something I was going to say about...
I'm sorry.
New York. No, I forgot what it was. It was something that you did.
We have had... Well, I'm sure. It was something I did.
Oh, I was going to say, like, how have you dealt with being in D.C.? Like, New York and D.C., they're very similar in that kind of sense where, like, you can't engage with certain people. You just got to keep walking.
And I do. I tend to...
You cannot... Okay, you're never going to see these people again. You just got to go.
I mean, when I worked and traveled through D.C. for work on the metro, I did. My non-street smart person was alive and well there. And I had a very good experience because of that. But I also had some very bad experiences because of that. But the very good experience was this. Evidently, I spoke to someone every day and didn't realize I spoke to him. And hello, sir. Good morning, sir. Evidently, I spoke to this homeless person every single day. And one day, he had the nerve to follow me down the track. And he touched my shoulder, and it scared me. He said, you always say good morning and hello, and you're so nice. I just want to say good morning to you. Oh. And I thought, wow. Okay, he said, you're so kind. You never treated me bad. And I thought, well, I'm never going to see this person again. Yeah. What you're saying. But for that particular person, it made a difference.
Yeah. And that's the tough thing is that there's just so many bad people out there now that you can't be, like, nice and courteous to anyone. And, like, you don't know, right?
Right.
Like,
you don't know. You just don't know.
It's so tough. I mean, like... you can say, like, good morning and hello to people, right? But, like, don't let it get past that.
Yes.
Because, again, like, you don't know. Like, when I'm on my runs, I say hello, like, to everyone I pass by.
Good.
Right? It's because they're all old people. They're all old. So
and it's so funny because if you don't, they're going to chase you down and say, you didn't say good morning to me. Good morning.
Yeah. I mean, mostly it's people with dogs, so I'm actually saying hello to the dog. But
okay.
It's fine.
Yeah, I get that.
I think I'm saying hi to them.
Yeah.
There was the cutest dog today. Oh my gosh. Oh. He was like, not a golden retriever, but he was like almost like white, but he was like about the size of a golden retriever, but he wasn't fluffy.
So not the white shepherd?
No,
Oh
it
my
wasn't
goodness,
like white.
they're
It was
so
like
beautiful in
it
Switzerland.
was like a very bright, like it wasn't like golden, but it was like a very bright yellow that was almost white, like the color of my shirt, but a little tiny bit lighter. And I can't remember what kind of dog it is, but he was so cute.
Yeah, the dogs are really sweet. You know, and it's so funny because I'll tell your dad, you know, all you gotta do is make eye contact with them. They'll come right over. And it's true. They're like little kids. You make eye contact with them, they're going to come see what's up with this person.
Yeah.
You know. People, too, in the parade. Like,
Yeah.
we were standing, if we made eye contact with anybody, they came over and gave us candy or treats. And, you know, that was so funny. And so...
Well, a lot of them skipped over me. I guess they thought I was too old to be getting candy.
No, I don't think so. You got some good candy.
Got some.
So you
I
didn't
like
eat a
4
lot.
pieces. Yeah.
With that honey candy, that was
Oh,
good.
that was good. Well, the flag person, I had my hand out for a flag, and he tried to skip over me.
I was going to give it to me, and I was like, no.
No, he was going to give it to the little girl, and I kind of felt bad for taking it, but I was like...
They gave one to the little girl beside of me.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Okay, so he did give her a flag.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to... The one that I took, he was trying to give to the little girl, and I felt kind of bad.
I thought you were saying he was trying to give it to me.
No. He tried to skip over me with that flag. And I was like, you have plenty to give to the kids, and also give me one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny. It was really, you know, that's something that...
Yeah.
Well, I didn't handle that. I did not show any street smarts there.
You just gotta ignore them.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, it was a public... This is a public thing, a public event. So if you want front row, get there early like we did.
Exactly.
We got there early, we found our spot, and then don't ask me to move because you have a little kid. Get there early.
Yeah.
Or go to another space. I'm not moving.
Yep.
I went through this last year, and I went through it this year. It's almost to the point that I don't even want to go back to the parades anymore. They have a kids parade every Tuesday after the Sunday parade. In fact, it's going on right now as we record this. They have a kids parade.
Yeah.
They do things for the kids. So, you know, don't think you have to. I mean, I wanted photos too. I wanted to see the parade.
Yeah.
I absolutely would not have been able to see. She kept saying, "You're taller, you're taller." Guess what? And that child would have stood up on the fencing that I was standing in front of so that I couldn't see.
Yeah.
So don't tell me I'm taller. And don't tell me it's important for the kids to see it. Because you know what? No, it's not.
No.
They can watch it on TV if they need to see it that
Yeah,
bad.
I mean...
Because this is a public space, and you know what? It's not always about the kids.
Yeah. No,
Sorry to say.
that parade is for everyone.
Yep.
It's supposed to be fun. Like, it's not...
Yeah, and they ruined my day.
Yeah. I know. Well, you also can't let them ruin your day.
True. I tried.
Like,
I really tried. I really tried.
No, you gotta...
But, you know, I felt like there was, you know, somebody that was with us. I thought that he would, you know, like, be more supportive like last year. Last year he was just like, oh yeah, I'm, you know, and saying all the same stuff I was saying. This year, no. There was no support.
You won't be like that in front of me.
Yeah, so it was just, oh, maybe that's what it was. So I just was like, you know, it was
because that one lady tried to get me to move. I looked at her, I said no, and I turned away.
Yeah.
And she didn't bother me again. So,
Yeah.
like, you gotta make it clear, like, no, you're not the boss of me. You can't tell me what to do. Right?
True.
You're an adult.
True.
So,
Very true. And yeah, that was my thing is, you know, Jesus, you know. And
there's other adults you can ask to move. Clearly, they didn't ask anyone else.
No, they only asked us.
Just
And that
us
was
going
exactly what happened last year. They only asked me and your dad.
If it's that bad, okay, I'm sure other people will be willing to move. We're not.
Right.
Deal with it. It's like, I see, like, posts on Reddit all the time where it'll be, like, someone is sitting down because, like, they have maybe, like, a disability that you can't see. Like, maybe they're autistic or they have fainting spells or whatever. So they're sitting down on the bus and someone asks them to move. And there's plenty of space on the bus for them to sit, or there's other adults that are sitting that are maybe more able-bodied that you could ask. And they ask the one person who is like, I can't. And
because
they get
that person
so upset
looks,
about it.
and I think it's because that person probably looks like, even though you
Yes.
can't see the disability,
You can't tell.
they probably look a little intimidated about the crowd. And so
No,
they look like
it's
they can
not
be
that.
bullied.
It's typically someone who's younger.
Well, that's true,
like
but I
always
do
someone
think
who's
that
younger.
those of us who have hidden disabilities, we show it in other ways. through our lack of confidence, through our inability to make eye contact. And so they see that and they think, oh, this is an easy target. Because I'm telling you, people know how to pick out the weak.
Well, yeah.
And so I think that's part of it. I really do think it's part of it. I know you're saying no, but I think
Well,
that's part
not
of
what
it.
I said. I said that it's typically like they're finding the people who look younger, like early 20s, and say like, oh, obviously.
Well, I mean,
there's nothing
I
wrong with
really
you.
almost let that person know the other day that I was almost 60. I'm 60 because she was saying, but you know, she's so young, and I'm like, well, I'm 60. That's what I wanted to say. And your dad just started laughing after I came home and said that. Your dad said, but the problem is you don't look it, and I feel like I do look it. No. I feel like I look every bit my age, and so I think, well, that you just can't go that way because I think I look it. You know, I know my every wrinkle and every flaw.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it was like that one lady that tried to get us, like it was just her, and she tried to get us to move out of the entire, like 3 seats. We moved over to give her a space, and then she got upset because we didn't move.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
at least the guys like across from us thought it was funny. Like they were definitely on our side there.
That was so funny because I did because I honestly couldn't figure out why she got pissed. I mean, we put our bags on top of us and we scrunched up and moved.
Our bags weren't our bags.
Right,
heavy?
she had bags all over, bunches of bags, and then she just got snappy. And whatever it was she said, anyway, yeah, you're right. This guys across from us just laughed, and we thought, what in the world?
I actually thought she might get like someone who works on the train involved, like bring them up.
Oh,
but
no, I don't think she was that kind of person.
On our side, so,
yeah,
I mean,
I agree that they would.
We were there first, and
and we were kind.
Yeah, we were
again.
Kind,
we did the kind thing. We made space on a very crowded train. Nope, we did not. No one else was making space.
3 seats.
No one else was making space. No. And so there was much more space elsewhere than where we were.
Yeah, it was a big train. It was like two.
And so my thought was, you need to keep going. After that attitude.
She got up to the top of the train with all those bags, and she could go find another space.
Absolutely. And there were people, honestly, just two sets down there were 2 people in a 4-seater thing. So don't, where we had 1 available seat.
Yeah.
Go ask somebody. Yeah, it's got 2 available seats. If you need space. It's just so fun. The other day on the bus. Yeah, we had to really like sit in separate spaces twice this week because of the Fastnacht, the buses being, very busy. We've had to sit in separate areas but yeah. Crazy. That was but I agree. We could be kind without having to sacrifice our safety.
Yeah.
But kindness only goes to the extent of, okay, this is what most human beings would do, and don't ask me, to be your best friend. Don't ask me to do things that you wouldn't ask God. I mean, don't ask me to do something you wouldn't ask my husband to do. And a lot of times I feel like that happens. They will ask me as a woman to do something that they would never ask my husband to do. So that's always my litmus test. Are you going to ask a man to do that?
Yeah.
Because 9 times out of 10, you're not.
Yeah. Like the guy, like I told you yesterday when I was walking back from the store yesterday.
Oh, yes.
So, I have this bad habit of wearing my headphones when I walk, which is fine in Switzerland. I really am not supposed to be doing that, at least not both headphones. Like, when I'm not alone, I obviously only wear one headphone so that if you need to talk to me, I can hear you. But, like...
But I always stand on the wrong side.
It's but Dad does too, so it's fine.
We're old.
Just if you want to stand on one side specifically, tell me because I can use the other headphone.
Right.
But anyway, like he drove up onto the sidewalk to try and get me a flyer, and it was the guy whose son is already really creepy. Yeah. And so I looked at him, I said no, and then it was like I flipped him off, but I don't think he saw it, and then I called him I can bleep it out, but I called him an but I don't think he heard me. And I was just like, how do you have he would not have done that to a man.
No, nobody,
no. He would not have done that. That's literally harassment. If you had done it to a man, the man might have punched you in the face. And you know that.
I guarantee if a man is standing on a sidewalk and sees a car coming up on the sidewalk, a man would have reacted very differently. than what you would have acted.
I mean, honestly, if it had been in person, I might have punched him in the face. Like, I may sound like I'm all talk, but honestly, if someone gets that close to me, I'm ready. I'm always ready to turn around and like right hook.
Yeah, and which is so funny because I always think too late. I always think after the fact.
Yeah.
But that time that man touched me on the bus, I should have hit him.
Yes, you should have.
I didn't. I didn't think of it till we were on another train, and I was like, I should have hit him. I had every right to hit him. He touched my body.
Yeah, exactly. And like, because when I turn around, I'm just always ready to like.
Yeah, I mean, he sexually assaulted me.
Yeah.
On public transportation.
It was probably he was trying to steal your wallet, but like at the same time, that's so wrong.
It doesn't matter. You don't sexually assault a person to take something from them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't have to touch them.
Yeah.
Like that. And so, and I had every right to hit him, and I didn't. And I regret that.
Well, it's okay.
All I did was turn around and, say bad words.
Yeah. Well, we have a photo of that guy if we ever need
to
go to the place.
It came across the other day. It was still in my. It was still in my photos. I was like, do I delete this?
I think we
do I not
really
delete
embarrassed him though, because I haven't seen him in Solothurn in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while, but I've been gone a long time. I was gone for 5 months.
Oh, that's right.
I was gone about 5 months.
I haven't seen him, so I think we really embarrassed him.
I'm okay with that. If we run you off, I don't care. Because if it saves another girl, another woman from being hurt.
Well, just any person, because I think he was a pickpocket.
Yeah, true.
So, true. Yeah, which we found out later because he was trying to get money from us.
Yeah, he did. He absolutely tried to flat out. And did not remember us. Like, didn't remember the person that he assaulted. Did not remember me from anything. He's that egotistical and thinking that the world owes him something.
You don't know that he wasn't on drugs.
I don't.
So, because my first thought, like, this is bad, like, when someone's asking for money, I immediately think they're going to use it for drugs.
Yeah, and we're not supposed to go there.
No, you're not. But that's why you don't give any, if someone is, like, asking for something, you go and you buy them food. Mm-hmm. Right? But you don't.
Which we have done. I know you've done that.
Yeah, I tried, but
and
the
he
guy
didn't take it.
Want it.
Yeah.
So that's, again, like, why I think, like, you obviously don't want food. You're going to use it for something else.
Right. I know a guy said he needed money to buy a ticket, a train ticket for him, his wife, and his daughter. Mm-hmm. And I said, I'll buy you the tickets, but I'm not giving you money. Mm-hmm. I said, I don't have any money.
Yeah.
But I'll buy you tickets. And I texted your dad. I said, hey, somebody's asking for a ticket, and I really feel like I need it. Mm-hmm. And your dad said, okay.
Yeah.
But then when he asked me about it, he said, you didn't give them money, did you? I said, no. And then he wouldn't take the ticket.
Yeah, because
he wouldn't let me buy the ticket. So I thought, well, why would you tell me you want money for a ticket, but you won't let me purchase you a ticket? I don't understand that.
Because he wasn't going to use it for the ticket.
Yeah, and there was definitely no woman and child with him. And so I thought, okay, well, I hate to just throw it back in your face, but,
Yeah. If they're asking for something specific,
time.
You offer to get them the specific thing. Mm-hmm. And if they don't want it, then that's fine. Like, honestly, I don't even care if you say, hey, I want money for a beer. I'll go buy you a beer.
Yep.
Right? Like, a single beer is not that expensive. Mm-mm. You can get them for not super expensive. I don't care if you say, hey, I want a beer. Okay, fine.
How much is the okay beer?
It's like what?
It's like a franc 50? Or is it less than a franc?
I don't know. Something like that.
It's
but,
so,
like, seriously,
so cheap.
You can say, hey, I want a beer. Okay, that's fine. It's not like it's that much alcohol.
Yeah.
I'll go buy you a beer. I'm not going to just give you money because I don't know what you're using.
I honestly would even go in the store. I wouldn't be embarrassed to walk in the store with them.
Yeah, no.
I would not because I don't judge people.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be embarrassed to be seen with somebody different than me.
But if you just want the money for, like, drugs, I'm not, like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, didn't Grandma and Grandpa used to hand out those little goodie bags that had, like, a bottle
of water. The church bag. Mm-hmm.
It had water, a granola bar, the card for a homeless shelter, and 2 quarters.
Yeah, but then they started putting more money in there. They actually got up to, like, a $5 bill.
I mean, that's fair because, I mean...
Right. But yeah, they would make these bags.
To make calls,
And absolutely, absolutely, they would. So,
And I get it, not like people don't want to go to a homeless shelter. I get it because
that's dangerous in itself. From what I understand,
in the U.S., homeless shelters are really dangerous.
Yeah,
I don't know about here.
I almost had to go to one with my oldest. I was out the door. I was ready, and then I just got so scared because of the stories I'd heard about.
Yeah.
You know, women going through, you know, basically what I'd already been through, but from strangers, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So I ended up staying. But yeah, I was scared of homeless shelters, but I still should have gone. You know, I get that people are afraid. I mean, you know, your personal safety is when it's been when trust has been broken. And your personal say, I don't think you really do know how to feel safe anymore. So I don't know how to feel safe on the street. I really don't have street smarts because of fear of rejection. And I mean, I don't even know these people, and I'm still afraid they're going to reject me. That's stupid, I know. But it's truly part of my psyche. Fear of us, you know, being physically hurt. And of course, fear of people not liking me, which is so silly.
Not everyone's gonna like you. It's just how life is.
Yeah, and I gotta get to where I'm street smart like you, and online smart. You know, I'm scared that I am scared sometimes. Have I clicked on something I shouldn't click on? If I don't know the number, I am pretty good about not opening even a text message. I try to just immediately delete it.
Yeah.
I don't always delete and block. I don't always delete and report. But a lot of times, most of the time recently, I've been deleting and reporting.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't understand those of you who want to hurt other people. I don't get you. I don't get you at all. And I'm never going to want to get you. I'm never going to want to understand you. Just stay away from me. That's all I can say. Because don't hurt me. Don't hurt my family. It's not fair. You know what? You want to be that kind of person. You know, I hope that the world eventually rejects everyone like that. Sorry to say.
Yeah. Well,
sorry to say. Yeah. But, you know, now it just seems like that's actually, there are more people that would rather hurt people than be kind. It's what I see, anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true.
I don't know.
Everybody always says, no, there's many more many more kind people than there are bad people. But you know what? Really? I don't see that.
I think there's just more neutral people. I don't necessarily think there's more kind or, like, mean people. I think there's just more neutral people.
Okay, I definitely don't see more kind. I definitely don't. I don't know about
well, it's because you don't always think about, like, the bad experiences stick in your head more than good experiences.
Yeah, you're right.
So you probably just don't notice how many more kind people there are. So, because there probably are more kind people than bad people. But,
yeah, you're right. And it's so funny because I was talking to your dad about my PTSD the other day. I was like, you know, I need you to work with me on this. I said, when I've asked you to do something, I'm serious. I need you to understand why it's affecting me the way it is. And I mean, you know, I think that unless somebody's been through stuff and can understand PTSD from a first-hand experience, don't ever judge anybody who said that, you know, this is affecting them in that way. Don't ever judge anybody about it. It's, you know, I don't know if that's street smart or not, to not judge people.
I think so.
But that's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to, you know, hold back your judgment. I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know. Well, we kind of really hope that you've enjoyed the conversation. We've certainly enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
I have.
We'll be back next week with a new bottle of wine and a new topic. If you want to join the conversation, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at WineTogetherPod. And if you don't want to miss out on our regular weekly episodes, along with all our bonus content, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts, as well as subscribing, liking, and commenting on our YouTube, Wine Together Podcast.